Um, so we got to this point where we have the entrance of the application, this page, and then once you hit start, now it'll basically take you to this page, and this page is pretty much like a very, very rough, it's not even an implementation, but it's basically like this. So it's an OHM logo, and then you have like some dollar amount here, and then down here you have like an OHM wallet. The thing is, I don't really know if we have the OHM price, if I can like actually get it from some kind of an API. So right now I'm just gonna change this UI a little bit. I'm just gonna basically have like a list of different currencies that they have in their wallet. I'm gonna list out OHM, staked OHM, and GOHM, and maybe Ethereum. So that's basically the stuff that I'm gonna show in this page. That's going to be basically their balance. And if they click on each one of these, they can basically select whether to send or receive in either one of those. All right, that sounds pretty good. So basically, we have, and maybe like in the middle, we can basically put like all of their balances. I think that would be a pretty cool thing to work on. And let's take a look at this to see like what the border color and everything is on this. All right, that's pretty sick. Okay, so I can see the border and everything. All right, cool. So let's go and create a whole bunch of currencies. All right, so I'm back here. This is the balance page. So you can see the linear gradient, and then you can see the image that we have at the top. Right, so that's everything so far. And let's actually start at here, and then we'll do const coins, and then we'll have, I think I do have a contract ID somewhere here, so I'm going to basically use that here. I believe it's somewhere in the network, maybe? No, it's not here. It's in the address book. Yeah, address book's where we keep everything. All right, so all of these addresses here are not really are not really used. So I'm just gonna get rid of mim snowdog and mim snowdog and like Joe router. I'm not gonna use this. Not gonna use these. So it's pretty much ETH ohm, staked ohm, and G ohm. These are all the ones, and pretty much I don't really think we have any of those here. We don't really need any of this here either. So we have G ohm, and then we don't really need ETH. Actually, ETH is not even a contract unless we like take WETH, for example. And that's it. And then on AVAX, we can actually see that we have GOHM, but we don't have stake ohm. All right, cool. So one thing that I gotta make sure is that these two addresses needs verification. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark these by like an X or something. All right. So GOHM on Etherscan. Let's do. Okay, cool. So it is on Polyscan and Etherscan. Okay, so Etherscan is the one that we're looking at. So let's just copy this address, paste it here. We can actually double check staked ohm, staked Olympus token tracker. There we go. This is the staked Olympus one. So it starts with 0x04f2. 04f2. Yeah, that's good. And then we also have ohm token tracker. Once we go there, we can basically see Olympus ohm and 0x38 blah blah blah. Okay, good. And then we can go to snow trace. Actually, GOHM token tracker snow trace, because it does exist on Avalanche as well. So let's see, snowtrace.io. Oh, it doesn't really have GOHM here. Let's take a look at here to see if we can find it. GOHM, it's not there. I guess I can just go to Olympus DAO. So docs.olympusdao.finance. They probably have it down here under the contracts. They usually put it there. There we go. Allocators, audits, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Tokens. Okay, there we go. They should have GOHM here. Stands for this. It supersedes this. V2 migration. And this is their contract. Wrap stake ohm, ETHnet, AOHM, POHM. So I wonder what this is. this is geom for this contract. Okay, so it's weird that geom is not on Avalanche. Avalanche geom token. I believe it should show up somewhere here. Geom bridging C chain, blah blah blah, Trader Joe. Okay, let's go over here. I guess a better way to find it is pretty much through Trader Joe. So let's go to their pools, and then we're gonna find Geom. I believe it should show all. Yeah, there we go, Geom AVAX. So this is the pool's ID. So if we go to Snow Trace, and then we put address, and then we put this geom here. There we go. This will be in, oh, this is geom itself. Interesting. Governance ohm geom, blah blah blah. That literally is the token. Interesting. I was expecting that to be the LP token. All right, cool. So we found geom on AVAX. So that's the address for it. So I can now remove these comments. All right, cool. And we've got the ERC20 contracts and everything. So let's just put the IDs only. So contract ID, and then I'm going to pretty much have. I think it makes sense to keep a coin lookup based on the network, because some of these coins don't exist on the network. So cons coin lookup is a sorry, I just got a message. Lookup of what do I want that to be a lookup? So it's basically a lookup to an address, and that address space is going to be a lookup of strings, pretty much. Lookup of string, right? And then what I'm gonna have here is network ID dot Ethereum. There we go. This bad boy, and then I'll have Avalanche AVAX. There we go. And then here I will have contract ID dot ohm, staked ohm, or maybe WETH. I don't really want to show WETH. Geo. There we go. So there we go. I wonder if I even need this. Because all the coin lookups, this should basically be a lookup of contract IDs, really. An array of contract IDs. That'll make the most sense because I already have the address book for them. So we do contract ID.geom, contract ID.ohm, and then contract ID.stable. There we go. And now over here we can do contract ID.geom. Whoops. Contract ID.geom. All right, cool. So we have the coin lookup based on the network ID. So basically we get the const network equals get network, or global context network. Yeah, there we go. I wonder if we have a getter for network. We don't really have one, so that's okay. So coins, which will be an array of contract IDs, will be coin lookup of network. There we go. And that'll pretty much give us everything that we need. And we also need a image lookup, but it's okay, we have that. I can basically bring it later. All right, cool. So I'm going to put here a coins. Actually, let's open parentheses. Map, and then you have coin ID. Then you have some view, and then you have text, and then this is pretty nice. I'm guessing I have to pretty much put a, like I have to stylize this view, but let's actually make sure that this text is imported. I guess it's not, it's just WebStorm's not helping out right now. Um, let me see if anyone from the Discord wants to kind of come and hang out. Well, I'm just going to join this channel and share my screen. Screens. Let's share this entire screen. Oh man, I wonder how much slower my computer's going to get from it. Ugh. Okay, no, it seems to be fine so far. Alright, cool. So we have that, this coin ID. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to disconnect from this. Call is good. Alright, cool. So let's go back to here. I believe we need some kind of name lookup. So const name lookup is, and it is actually a lookup of string, and it'll be contract ID dot ohm. Actually, that's just good enough. G ohm. There we go. Let's just put a nice low G here. Staked ohm. Staked ohm. And then we also have maybe, what else do we have here? G ohm, staked ohm. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much. So when we have text, we can basically put out. At the same time, it makes sense to put a const icon lookup is a lookup of. Actually not sure what kind of thing it is, so I'm just gonna do it this way. Alright, so I'm gonna put all of these here, and then in the scaffold app, I have a whole bunch of icons here that I'm gonna import. So I'm gonna do import ohm icon from, and then assets icons ohm logo or ohm icon .png. I'm going to do the same thing for staked ohm, and same thing for g ohm, but we don't have a g ohm icon just yet. So I'm gonna just put these two in here first. So ohm icon, and then staked ohm icon. Let's just use the ohm icon for g ohm for now. I'm pretty sure they have a separate icon for it, so we're gonna end up showing it as well. Alright, cool. So now I can probably just, let's reuse some of the stuff that I had in scaffold. But actually, for the purposes of this video, I want to actually teach how to do that, to put like a very tiny image as an icon. So let's just go ahead and do it. It's okay. Alright, cool. Let's put this here. Resize mode contain, that's fine. I'm guessing we just wanted to use an image size. So for now, let's just hard code it, it's fine. I'm going to clean all of this up very soon. Let's ignore the margin, and the source is going to be icon lookup, coin ID. And also, I guess I want to put some text here too, name lookup, coin ID. Alright, cool. So this is cleaned up and everything looks good. So let's take a look at what the application looks like. Aha, it's hideous. Alright, so to actually make this looking a little bit nicer, we can do flex direction is row, right? If we do that, these are all kind of in a row now, which is slightly better. Let's actually put a, each one of these is a view, so let's actually wrap this whole thing in a view, and then do style, margin, top, and I'm going to give it like 100 pixel margin top. And then I'm going to bring all of these little coins, like list view, inside of it. So slightly better, still pretty hideous. So let's actually give it some, one other thing that we should do is to make all of these aligned, right? So let's actually split this so that we can see like whatever changes that I make. So align items. center. I wonder if this does it. Yay, it did it. Okay, cool. And every single image, I want to put like a margin right of, I don't know, 10 pixels. I think that should do it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And all of these texts, I want them to be font color. Sorry, color white. And let's maybe, actually no, that's fine. I think this looks good enough. All right, cool. So let's go back to our mockup to see what this looks like. All right, so we pretty much have this thing. So I'm going to ignore the wallet part. I'm going to put their balance on the right side. So what we have right now, actually let's put this on the left side so that we can directly compare. All right, this looks good. All right, so I basically need to be on the left side and then the other thing to be on the right side, which is the price. And at the same time, I believe we need some padding up in this guy. All right. Yeah, but the padding till here, I can't really, oh, 20. Okay, cool. So padding, oh, sorry, it should go up here. Padding vertical is going to be 20. Padding horizontal is going to be 40 pixels. I think that should fix it. Yeah, that's good. And then let's do this border. I think this border looks really cool. All right, that's the border. Border top width is 1. Border bottom width is 1. Border color is this. Whoops. There we go. All right, nice. This is starting to look really good, honestly. The only thing we got to do, actually, we only need to put a border top. Let's put a border top for all of them, and then I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do this. Let's put border bottom for all of them, and then put border top only if I is 0. Otherwise, we'll just set 0. So that'll make all of them a little bit more balanced here. All of that's looking really good. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. I wonder if I can set the flex to be 1 and whether they will, oh no, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. How come this is not, so this has a flex of 1, then you have linear gradient, then you have this image, and then you have this view that is 100 pixels below it. It's pretty weird how it's, let's see, flex of 1. Does that really do anything? No, it doesn't do anything. Let's do a background on this. Background potato or tomato. All right. So that does not take up the full width of its parent, which is weird. I did not expect that to happen. Well, let's do a width of 100%. Maybe that'll do it. Yeah, that seems to have done it. All right, cool. So this is starting to look way more like an actual, the actual application, which is awesome. Now let's go and see in our Figma design if this, let's see, copy as CSS. Let's see what the font size on that is. Font size is 20 pixels. All right, cool. So let's take a look at this. Font size, come on, man. Autocomplete. All right, there we go. Okay, so the fonts are much bigger now. And let's take a look at this guy. It's 44 by 44. So it's 44, 44. All right, it's starting to look way better. Now the only part is calculating the dollar value of it. I'm showing it at the top. And then calculating. I honestly feel like we should replace the place of these two prices. I feel like the amount of ohm they have should be at the top, and then the US dollar value should be at the bottom. And the reason I say that is because mostly for consistency, really. Like if you take a look at MetaMask, for example, it shows you the actual, currency, and then it shows you the US dollar value at the bottom. So I'm gonna implement it that way. I mean, we can always change it, so it's not gonna be, anything. It's not gonna be, you know, set in stone. I'm very much open to doing other stuff, but let's just try it this way right now. All right, cool. So we want to do U.S. dollars, this one, and then that one. Okay, so pretty much we need a well. Okay, so we've got the image, text, and we pretty much need to put both of these in a view. Really, view. There we go. So that the image and text are on the left side. And then we will go ahead and create another view. And then over here, I will put a one text that is going to be the 2.1 ohm. And then I'm going to put the bottom text, which is going to be 1525 dollar USD or something like that. All right, so as always, this looks hideous. What we're gonna do is style it, font, color, actually, whoops, color white. All right, there we go. Actually, one thing that makes sense, because all of our texts are gonna be white anyways, right? So let's just actually create this component called maybe OM text, so standing for Olympus Mobile Text. So const OM text is it pretty much takes all of the text stuff and it takes some props, which are text props, and then it'll basically propagate all those props. However, in style, font, actually color is white, and then the rest of the p.style will be applied here. Let's clean this up. Oh, so this is actually p.style as text style. I think that'll do. Let's add it here as well. All right, cool. So what I can do is take all the text that we have here, change it into OM text. Let's go to the next one, OM text, OM text. Let's see, so all of them are white now, and then I can just remove this white color from most of them. So in this case, I don't even need to have any styles. So it'll look a little bit better, a little bit more compact. And then this image, we can probably export it and make it a component of itself. So const OM icon. And then in terms of props, we can take any kind of image props, really. Let's just extend the image. And that's a pretty good idea. So P image props. And let's put a size here too. And then I can put this image here. Starting to look really good, actually. OM icon is that, and then P image props, and also that. So I can actually put. All right. So the resize mode should be contain source. I guess it's already embedded within P, so I can do it this way. P, there we go. And then width can be size, so p.size. And height can also be p.size. And margin right is something that will have to come from p.styles. P.style. Does image not get a lot of stuff? It does get stuff. Okay, so it should be fine. So we just do this. And then we basically do as image style. There we go. This is pretty good. So I can now just do OM icon. Source can be icon lookup, coin ID. And then the size can be, in this case, 44. Maybe we can store that in a variable. I don't really like using magic numbers all around, but for now this will suffice. Alright, cool. So I noticed that the margin got messed up a little bit, but it's fine. I think that we should actually fix all of that as well. So let's do it. Style. Sorry. Whoops. Again, margin right 10. Alright, there we go. Oof, that is not a good idea. I'm guessing I should basically put this behind here. Oops. Quite weird. I did not expect this to get that big. And is it only coming from margin right? It's not coming from margin right. Is the size 44 really that big? Like 20, 10 maybe? No, it doesn't do anything. Alright. I wonder what is causing this to be this huge. Because the rest of it should be pretty fine. Oh, okay. I think style should come after. Yeah, there we go. That fixed it. Alright, cool. So, and another thing is that this should have a flex direction of, I think, row. Right? Yeah, and that basically brings it in the way that we want. And align items should be centered here as well. There we go. That fixes that. And then align, actually justify content space between. Let's see if this does what we want. Yes, it does. Yay! All right, cool. So that pretty much takes care of this side, and this side is taken care of. We want the top side to be slightly bigger than the bottom side, and then the bottom side needs to be grayed out a little bit. So let's take a look at this guy's size. Multiple clicks. There we go. It's a 15 size text. So style size font size 15. Right, there we go. And then the bottom part, I want it to be slightly smaller. Yeah, there we go. It's 10. Font size 10. And also color. What is this color? 78, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. Alright, awesome. Oh my god, this looks beautiful. This looks so cool. Alright, awesome. Now we have one other thing to do, which is getting the icon of Geom. Let's see if Olympus DAO actually has some official icon for it. Olympus DAO or app.olympusdao.finance. Ooh, my computer's getting hella slow, huh? Alright, there we go. So if we go here, you can add token to wallet, which is pretty cool. Where is the buy add token to wallet? Oh, they used to have a whole bunch of cute icons here. What happened to it? Do they not have it anymore? Oh, that was pretty fun. On stake, legacy. Oh. You know what? Let's ask the man himself. Actually, I'll ask him later. It's okay. So for now, let's just keep the GOM have the same icon as ohm. That's fine. So now we have to actually get the user's balance for all of these things. And that is where the fun stuff comes in, because you actually have to connect to the Ethereum blockchain. So one way that we can do that is to basically use this thing. So let's go to the scaffold page, because I know I've already done it over there. All right, cool. So let's do const address. And here I'm just going to put my own address, honestly, because I feel like that'll there we go. So for now, I'm just going to use my own address to load the balances that I have. And then we can do something. Actually, so instead of that, I'm just going to go on OHM and find some address, like go on Etherscan and find some address that holds a whole lot of OHM. I think that'll be better. All right, so let's go here. We've got the contract address. It was called address book. All right, there we go. Address book. Take a look at, let's say, for example, GOHM. And then let's go here. We can take a look at this, and then we can see that there was a whole bunch of ERC20 token transactions from this address to this address. So for example, let's go here, see what this address owns. So ERC20 token transactions. And apparently they spent some GOHM. I think they do have some GOHM on their account. And one way to kind of check this out is on Zapper. Let's go on Zapper and basically paste their address to see how much they have. Alright, actually, no, I don't want to dox myself. Let's go and just use the address here. It'll probably show up if our code works properly. Alright, cool. So we've got this address here. And then, so ideally this application, when the application starts, it's going to generate a private key. And then the private key is going to be securely stored on the application. And the user does not necessarily have to see the private key unless they decide to expose it. And the private key gets generated completely at random. So to make sure that we don't really have any collisions or anything. So cool. So let's just actually implement this part. So scaffold page. To get the balance of OHM and also stake OHM and GOHM, we pretty much have to use a ERC contract. And I basically provided this utility function for myself, where I basically have the I pass in the ID of the contract and then ERC20 ABI. So what that does is pretty much calls the Ethers project's contract, and it has the address, it has the ABI, and it gets the provider, and then it basically returns the ERC20 contract. So let's just do that. Const OHM. We don't have any variables called OHM. That's good. Staked OHM and GOHM. Are, to be honest, I feel like this might be even better if we do it based on the specific chain. So we already have the coin lookup, right? So we can do it like so. Tokens equals coins.map. And then you have the coin ID. And then we can do get ERC contract. And then C, const tokens. There we go. That is pretty good. So now when we have this kind of stuff, we can get the balances. So const balances set balances equals use state, and then this is going to be an array of numbers, right? And its initial value is just going to be an empty array. I think that'll be pretty good. Or actually, I think this might be even better if we do coins dot map, and then for each coin we just return 0. Right? I can maybe even underscore that. Yeah, cool. So this way, when we are showing the balances for the first balance, which is the, for example, here it says ohm, I can just put balances and then the index into that thing. And then we also have the names. So I can probably do something like name lookup and then coin ID. So if I remove that, it'll look exactly like what it's supposed to look. So 0 G ohm, 0 ohm, and 0 state ohm. Now let's do the fun part, which is actually getting the balance. So we'll do use effect. So this is the hook that we're going to use. Do we want to change this, like run this use effect again? Yes, when the network ID changes. So network. That'll be the dependency of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do, let's say, tokens for each, maybe. Or actually, let's do it this way. Promise.all, and then we do tokens.map token, and for every single token, we do token dot, and then we do balance of and address, right? Then, also another thing that we can do here. Sorry, let's just do that. Okay, cool. After this mapping is done, so this basically gets the balance of, but then we can actually call the then function, and then we get the balance. And we actually have to change this balance into a readable format because it's going to be in a big number-ish format, right? But in the case of gohm and ohm and state ohm, I'm pretty sure all of them have like 9 decimals, so it'll be pretty easy. We can basically do it like so. Balance.div 1e9. That'll pretty much give us whatever we need. What is this balance? It says implicitly has an any type. It's actually a big number. Let's see. Big. How come it doesn't really type complete for me? Huh. Big number. There we go. Let's clean this up a little bit. There we go. Alright. Balance.div. And then another thing that we can do toNumber. And then once we do toNumber, we can divide it by, that's actually good. We can just do 2 fixed and then maybe keep 2 decimal points. Alright, cool. And what else are we going to do? So when we do promise.all, if we do then on it, and then we will have the balances, in which case we can do set balances, right? So this is pretty cool, but it actually gives me a possible unhandled promise rejection. So let's see what this says. It says, actually I can't really read this. Let's go to see what the thing is saying. Could not detect network. Error, no network. Interesting. So I guess we have to figure out why it cannot figure out the network yet. Alright, cool. Are we connected to the internet? Yes, we are. I'm just going to pause the video right now to figure out what the problem is, and I'm going to resume.